Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode. For this video, I set out to make the most expensive trash can that my brain cell can think up. Now, the most expensive way that I can imagine getting rid of an item involves crafting one of these. Now, this crafting recipe crafts itself into an anvil. Now, these anvils have a pretty unique property. They can actually get rid of an item if it is dropped from high enough on it. Now, it won't work if it's just 3 blocks tall. It'll just be weird. But let's see what it does with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, that was still 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. It still has it with 4. Let's try 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that's what I did. And gets rid of it. Alright. And the reason that it's so expensive is because anvils. Each anvil takes, let's see, 9, 18, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. Each anvil takes 31 iron ingots. Now, unless you have an iron farm, this is not the most practical, because each group of items that you want to get rid of will take a single anvil. And of course, we couldn't have it be boring. That's unforgivable. So we had to go a little bit extra. We have to have it to where what we can do is we can just throw the item down, even if it's an anvil itself, push the button, anvil comes out, drops on it, and there it goes. We had to make it a little bit more interesting, because it can't be boring. We can't just have it fall on it and not have a show. It's a show. Now, if I'm being honest, this is not the most practical build, so I don't know why you'd build it, but you can. Now, this whole thing is the trash can. It makes use of the pulse extenders and monostable circuits, and I think that's it. Nope, and the anvil pusher. I had to actually look up a tutorial for this specific anvil pusher because, like I said, one brain cell. So, full props go to this man right here. Tutorial by Riley Biburn. So, he did a good tutorial. I was able to follow along with it. Really simple. So now I will go into a bit of a tutorial to show you guys how to build this in your own worlds, whether that's creative, which makes a lot more sense, or survival, which makes a lot less sense. Okay then, so we have this first part... Oh, fix that. Okay, so we have this first part done. Now, I'm going to use a different block here so that we can see it better. So we push the button, wait a few seconds, and the piston pulls it back, and then it extends again, so that the anvil can fall back down. Alright, so that is the first part. All we have is this button connected to this block that powers this redstone. It goes up, 2 repeaters set to full delay, and then 2 more repeaters set to full delay to turn off this redstone torch, which is currently powering this piston. Now we have this next part installed. This part is, quite frankly, the most compact part of it, because we can't really see it too well underneath the rest of this, depending on which angle we're looking at it. So while we're building it up, I can show you it better. So this is the part that opens up the ceiling, or that really opens up the ceiling, that pulls out this part. I can actually show you better if I push the button. Yep, just like that. And it works perfectly. And I actually needed to have it set on this pulse extender, which I will explain that in just a moment. First, I will explain how we got here. So we used the slabs to bring these up and still have the line going under here to get to where we needed to earlier. So then I'm just bringing it up, although I guess I could have used... Yeah, you can use the regular block here. You don't have to use a slab. But I have a repeater going into this redstone torch, which whenever we push the button, will unpower the torch. But currently, the torch is powering the piston right here that's making it to where this ceiling is flush, so you can't really tell anything is there when you're looking from underneath it. So that will be unpowered, which will pull up the block, and then this is set to an extra tick of delay so that it will be sure to happen after the block is pulled up. Now this is just a different color so that I can distinguish which part is different. That this is specifically the pulse extender. Now the pulse extender is exactly what it says, what's in its name. It just extends the pulse and makes it last for a little bit longer. Like, I'll push the button. Yeah. It's what makes this last like a few ticks longer than this one. So that's all that's useful for, because before it was just happening too fast and I wasn't able to do anything with it. So, but this makes it work a lot better. Okay, now after this bit, we should be all done. So what we have done now is that we have brought up this redstone line, and here, then here, then here, then here, using the slab method discussed in an earlier video. And we just used that to use this repeater to unpower this redstone torch. Now this redstone torch is currently powering these two repeaters. And this repeater right here, I guess I could have talked about this before, but it's only one block right here, so it should be fine. This repeater is powering this piston. It's just a regular piston. It doesn't have to be sticky. This is what's going to be holding our anvil to drop. Now this second part over here, this is a sticky piston. Yeah, sticky piston right here. That's being powered. Now as soon as it's unpowered, it will send a redstone signal to here, through this block, to this repeater, to power this, through this, to this repeater, which is set on full ticks, and will unpower this redstone torch. Now this whole thing right here is by this guy over here. Let's go back so you can see it, because full credit to Riley Bibern. And he said that you can use sand. I wanted to point out that you can use sand or gravel, so I used gravel in mine. But this part right here, I just made use of a monostable circuit to act as if it were a button, like he used over there. That's all this part is right here that I added. Now, what happens is with Riley Bibern, if I remember correctly, you can't read signs from far away. That's interesting. But what happens is you cannot regularly push anvils, like, just can't do it. Even if it's just like this. But what happens is the anvils, when they are falling, they are technically counting as entities. So that is how we are able to get away with these types of machines. So now let's give this a test so that we can make sure that it's working properly. So let's throw our stack of diamonds on here, push the button, boom, they're all gone, and the anvil even falls down here. Like, I have it to where the anvil falls into the void. Yep. So it's good to know that that still works. And again, this is entirely not practical at all, because every time you want to do it again, you have to make sure that you have enough anvils, because each time takes a single anvil, and you will eventually run out of anvils. So you really don't want to do this unless you have a decent supply of anvils, or at least a really good iron farm. So yeah, I just wanted to build this because I hadn't seen one trash can like this before on YouTube, so I thought this was interesting. Or maybe in the back of my mind, I remember it from somewhere, but for the life of me, can't remember. So for now, it's mine. But I'm willing to share it with you guys. And although I will never be using this in my survival world, it is pretty fun to make in creative just for the sake of doing it. But if you want to build it in your survival world or on an SMP, just to brag to your friends that you have enough iron to do it, then go ahead, by all means. But for me, I think this is just so much faster. But yeah, that is going to be it for me today. I thank you for sticking around this long. And I recently got a new microphone, so in the comments let me know if it sounds good enough, because I was not satisfied with the way my voice was sounding just being recorded on my computer. So let me know if this is actually working properly. Thank you, I hope you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you like, and be sure to leave a comment with any suggestions that you like. And with that, I'm out of here. Goodbye!